so far away from the person she'd once been, and not just because she'd moved into the old beach house after being released from the hospital. Only a year ago, she'd sat at the head table of the Newport Marina Ballroom, wearing a pink knitted suit with black trim and matching shoes, her gloved hands folded in her lap. With his trademark panache, her husband held forth from the podium, speaking with compelling eloquence of his commitment to the citizens who had just elected him to a second term. He'd spoken of service and gratitude and family, and love. When Victor spoke of love, he could make even the most jaded heart believe. He'd singled Sandra out as his steady anchor in the shifting seas of politics. His family and friends surrounded her in a warm cocoon of affection, as if she were truly one of them. After the speech, she sipped coffee, shared small talk and smiles, held other women's babies, and stood proudly at the side of her famous husband. The man who was missing, and now presumed dead. She stared out the window, tucking ink-smudged hands into the back pockets of her jeans. For Sandra, there was no presumed about Victor's death. She knew. The wounded morning sky, as lackluster as midwinter itself, grew duller rather than brighter with the coming day. Looking out over the gray-shadowed beach, she felt a piercing loneliness, so sharp and cold that she flinched and hugged the oversized sweater tighter around her. Victor's sweater. She shut her eyes and inhaled with a shudder of emotion. It still smelled of him. Faintly spicy and clean and tinged with him. Just him. Damn Victor. How could he have done this? Told her those things and then died on her. 1 minute you love someone, she thought. You believe you're tied to him forever. The next minute, fate cuts you loose, and all the disillusionment and shattered hopes had nowhere to go. She picked up the notebook again, flipped the page, and read over her notes for the story she was working on. Her editor had already granted a 60-day extension, and she was coming to the end of the second deadline. If she didn't turn in the manuscript soon, she'd have to repay the money that advanced her to write the novel in the first place. The money, modest sum that it was, had been spent long ago on luxuries such as groceries and legal fees. Even though she'd never been charged with a crime, she had incurred an amazing sum of attorney's fees. Now, at last, she would be entitled to the life insurance settlement. The idea of profiting from Victor's death made her feel queasy, but she had to do something. Had to pick up her life and figure out a way to go on. It was torture for her to live in paradise, among the people who had adored her husband. Sometimes she even went up the road to Wakefield to run errands, simply because she didn't want to encounter anyone who had known Victor. The trouble was, everyone knew Victor. Thanks to his family name and the swift incandescence of his political career, followed by his spectacular demise, the whole state knew him now. Sandra would have to go somewhere far away to escape his shadow. And now, finally, she had a chance to do that. Something unexpected was happening inside her. She was free, unattached. She had nothing to hold her now. Not Victor's political calendar, certainly not any social obligations. A soaring sense of freedom rose like a raft of birds from a marsh. Now that the death investigation was finally over, she edged toward a decision that had been hovering in her mind for months. She could fix up the place, sell it, hit the road. Her destination didn't seem to matter as much as the urge to run. She picked up a flyer she'd found on a community bulletin board outside the post office. Paradise Construction, restoration and remodeling, bonded and insured, references. Grabbing the phone before she could change her mind, she dialed the number and got, not surprisingly, a voicemail message. Sandra hesitated, not sure what to say.